welcome to the deep dive. Okay, think about this. Who in American entertainment, like, really defines sticking to their guns? Someone who built a decades-long career, not by fitting in, but by being unmistakably them.
It's got to be Danny DeVito, right?
Exactly. Today, we're diving deep into Danny DeVito. We want to get past the loud characters everyone knows and really look at the actual career.
Yeah, because there's so much more there. People see Louie De Palma, they see Frank Reynolds, which, don't get me wrong, are brilliant. But behind that is this incredibly sharp guy. An Emmy winner, sure, but also an Oscar-nominated producer, a really interesting director.
Right.
So our mission for you today is basically to map out his journey. It's not your typical Hollywood story at all. We're talking like calculated risks, unexpected turns,
Right.
how a beautician from Jersey became this, well, this mogul of macabre charm, as you put it earlier.
Mogul of macabre charm. I like that. It fits.
Yeah.
Because his whole career feels built on, well, audacity, taking his unique look, his background, and just running with it. So let's start with the basics, the foundation.
Okay, full name. Daniel Michael DeVito Jr., born November 17th, 1944. So, yeah, he just turned 80, which is incredible given his energy.
Still going strong.
Totally. Born in Neptune, New Jersey, grew up in Asbury Park. And the thing everyone notices, his height, 5 feet tall, 1.52 meters.
And that's not just a random detail, is it? It's tied to a specific condition.
Correct. It's due to something called multiple epiphyseal dysplasia, also known as Fairbanks disease. It's a rare genetic thing affecting bone growth. And, you look at how Hollywood often typecasts actors with distinct physical traits.
Puts them in a box.
Exactly. But DeVito, he sort of weaponized it. He used that physical presence to command attention, to carve out this niche, playing these short but totally dominating characters. The angry dispatcher, the sleazy businessman, the penguin.
It forced him to be memorable, maybe?
I think so. It made him an exceptional character actor from the get-go. And eventually, it probably fueled his drive to direct, to control his own story, his own image.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's rewind way back. Before Hollywood, before Taxi, how did this Jersey kid even get on that path? It wasn't straightforward.
None at all. So his roots are pure Jersey. Grew up in Asbury Park, Catholic family, Italo-Albanian background. His family actually has ties to San Fele in Basilicata, Italy, and interestingly, the Arborish Aldanian community down in Calabria.
Wow, that's specific. So a real sense of heritage there.
Definitely. And you sometimes see that sort of earthy gravity underneath the comedy. Anyway, education-wise, he went to Oratory Prep, a boarding school. Apparently, he convinced his dad to send him there to keep him out of trouble, graduated in '62.
Okay, standard enough. But then the career path takes a weird turn. No acting right away?
Nope. He starts working as a beautician at his sister's salon.
Right. From boarding school troublemaker to hairstylist.
Kind of amazing, right? And the way he got into acting was almost accidental. He was looking for a professional makeup instructor. He needed someone to teach him, presumably for stage or maybe even film makeup for the salon work, maybe?
Oh, interesting. So a practical need.
Totally practical. And that search leads him somehow to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York. He graduates from there in 1966.
So he went looking for makeup tips and found acting.
Basically, yeah. 80 offered both. And clearly the acting side really grabbed him. But hold on, before acting became the main thing, there's this other job he had. And I think this explains so much about his later work, his comfort with the dark stuff.
Okay, I'm braced. What is it?
He worked in a morgue as a cosmetologist.
You're kidding. Styling hair for the deceased?
Yeah. Apparently how it happened was one of his regular clients from the salon passed away. And her family specifically asked him to do her hair and makeup for the funeral.
Wow.
And somehow that turned into him actually working shifts at the morgue, doing cosmetology for the residents.
Okay, stop. Imagine being a young guy, trying to make it, and that's your side gig, dealing with death, up close, grieving families, but focusing on, like, the perfect hairstyle.
The juxtaposition is insane, right? Meticulous work, cosmetology, against the starkest reality there is. You got to think that gives you a certain perspective. Yeah. Maybe it makes you unflappable.
Or deeply comfortable with the grotesque, which tracks with Throw Mama from the Train, War of the Roses, Matilda.
Exactly. It grounds his black comedy. He's never seemed squeamish about showing the ugly side of things, the dark underbelly. So that morgue experience, maybe it was kind of formative for his artistic sensibility.
That makes a weird kind of sense. So, okay, he has this unique background experience. Then he starts in the stage.
Yeah, late 60s, off-Broadway. He's doing plays with titles like Shoot Anything with Hair That Moves and The Man with the Flower in His Mouth. This is 1969.
Proper experimental stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was involved with the Colonnades Theater Lab at the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center, which was a serious place for developing new work. And, crucially, this is also where his personal and professional life really started to merge. He was working with the Westbeth Playwrights Feminist Collective and appearing in plays there alongside a young actress named Rhea Perlman.
Ah, the beginning of that iconic partnership.
The very beginning. So by the time Hollywood noticed him, he wasn't just some funny-looking guy. He was a trained actor with serious stage cred and some pretty unique life experience.
Right. Which brings us to the breakthrough. The moment people really started knowing his name outside of New York theater. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
1975. Milos Forman directing. And this wasn't just luck. This was him leveraging his stage work perfectly.
How so?
He played Martini in the movie. But here's the key. He had already played that exact same role in the 1971 off-Broadway stage production.
No way. So he walked onto that movie set already knowing Martini inside and out.
Completely. Imagine the confidence that gives you. On a huge film set, Oscar-winning director Jack Nicholson. And you know your part cold because you've lived it on stage for months.
That's a massive advantage.
Huge. Now, technically, his first feature film was a little drama called Dreams of Glass in 1970, but Cuckoo's Nest, I mean, that movie swept the Oscars. That put him on the map in a huge way.
But the real game changer, the role that made him a household name, has to be Louie De Palma.
Oh, absolutely. Taxi, running from 78 to 83. The angry, tyrannical, but somehow lovable dispatcher at the Sunshine Cab Company.
He was perfect. That short stature, but this massive, dominating personality.
It was like the role was built for him. And it won him the Emmy for supporting actor in 81, won him a Golden Globe. Huge success. But the story of how he got the part.
The audition story.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell it. Is it true?
Well, the legend goes, and the creators have told versions of this, that DeVito walks into the audition room, sits down, looks at the script, and just throws it on the table and growls, "Who wrote this shit?"
He actually said that to the guys hiring.
Apparently, instead of, reading politely, he just became Louie De Palma right there in the room. Total aggression, total confidence.
That's insane. And it worked.
It worked. They loved it. They figured, okay, this guy gets it. He is Louie. It was this incredibly risky, but ultimately brilliant move that just screamed, I am perfect for this.
Wow. That takes guts. Okay, so Taxi makes him a huge TV star.
Yeah.
But he doesn't just stay there. He makes a jump to movies in the 80s, and it feels very deliberate.
Very strategic. He didn't just take any movie role. He aimed high right away. 1983, he takes a supporting part, Vernon Dalhart, in terms of endearment.
Huge movie. Critically acclaimed, won Best Picture.
Exactly. James L. Brooks directing, Shirley MacLaine, Deborah Winger, Jack Nicholson again. By doing that, he instantly signals, I'm not just the sitcom guy. I can play in serious award-winning films.
Smart. Elevating the brand.
Totally. And then he finds this other groove, the action comedy thing with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner.
Romancing the Stone.
1984. He plays Ralph, the sort of slimy comic relief villain. It's a massive hit.
And the sequel, Jewel is an Isle.
1985. That pairing, that trilogy of actors, it really worked. It established him as this reliable, hilarious presence in big mainstream movies.
He could do the slightly menacing thing, but always funny.
Right. And he leaned into that black comedy sensibility, too, like in Ruthless People with Bette Midler in 86. That was a big hit for him.
And Twins with Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah. Twins in 88. Genius casting, playing on the height difference. They did Junior later, too, in 94.
He also did Tin Men with Richard Dreyfuss around that time, right?
Yeah.
A.B. Levinson directed.
Yeah, 87. Playing rival aluminum siding salesman, another great character part. So the 80s, for him, acting-wise, it's all about showing range, proving he can carry comedic roles in big movies, work with the top directors and stars. But while all this is happening...
He's already thinking bigger.
Exactly. He's setting himself up to be more than just an actor. He's moving towards becoming the mogul.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the director and producer. This feels like a major shift in ambition.
Absolutely. Moving from actor for hire to the one calling the shots. His first directing gig was actually a TV movie, The Ratings Game, in 1984.
Okay, dipping his toes in.
Right. But then his feature film debut as director comes in 87 with Throw Mama from the Train.
Which is pure DeVito sensibility, right? Dark comedy.
Totally. Starring himself opposite Billy Crystal, Anne Ramsey is unforgettable in it. It does well, gets him a Golden Globe nod for acting in it too. So he proves he can handle directing a feature, get good performances, and star in it.
He directed for TV too, right? I remember an Amazing Stories episode.
Yeah, The Wedding Ring, season 2, where Rhea Perlman, his wife, gets possessed by a cursed ring he finds. Again, that slightly dark, quirky vibe.
And then he brings that directing skill back to his big screen partnership.
The War of the Roses, 1989, reunites him with Douglas and Turner.
But this wasn't like Romancing the Stone. This was dark.
Oh, incredibly dark. It's this brutal black comedy about a divorcing couple literally trying to destroy each other. It took that charming Douglas Turner chemistry and just twisted it into something really ugly and uncomfortable.
It definitely showed his willingness to push comedy into uncomfortable places.
Which, again, leads us to Matilda, 1996.
A classic. He directed it, narrated it, and played the worst dad ever, Harry Wormwood.
Opposite Rhea Perlman, again, as the equally awful mom. Matilda is kind of the perfect synthesis of his directorial style. He totally got Roald Dahl's vibe. It's dark, it's unsentimental, it doesn't talk down to kids.
Roger Ebert loved that about it, right? That he didn't shy away from the macabre stuff.
Exactly. Ebert praised him for sticking to Dahl's vision. The Wormwoods are monstrous, and DeVito just leans into it, makes it hilariously, terrifyingly real. It's brilliant.
He also took a big swing with a serious biopic, Hoffa, in '92.
Right. Directing, producing, acting alongside Jack Nicholson as Jimmy Hoffa, that felt like a real power play. It was about establishing himself as a serious filmmaker, someone who could handle big budgets, complex historical subjects, attract huge stars like Nicholson. It was about gaining that industry respect beyond comedy.
Okay. But maybe his biggest impact behind the scenes wasn't even directing his own stuff.
It was Jersey Films.
Yes. Founded in 1991 with Michael Schamberg. Stacey Sher joined later as an equal partner. This company changed things.
It really did. Their whole philosophy seemed to be about finding unique, writer-driven projects that maybe the big studios were afraid of. They championed outsider voices.
And the results were just staggering. I mean, you look at the list.
Pulp Fiction, 1994.
Changed everything.
Right. Then get Shorty, 95, adapting Elmore Leonard. Gattaca in 97, that smart sci-fi. Out of Sight in 98.
Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman in 99.
And then Erin Brockovich in 2000.
Which got him the Oscar nomination for Best Picture as a producer.
Exactly. Erin Brockovich was interesting because it was more mainstream, a big star vehicle for Julia Roberts, a social issue drama. It showed Jersey Films could play in that league too, deliver major Oscar contenders. It wasn't just edgy indie stuff.
You did Garden State too, right? Zach Braff's movie?
Yeah, 2004. Another huge indie hit that defined a moment. They just had an incredible run of spotting talent and backing distinctive films.
And they branched into TV, too, with Jersey Television.
Reno 911, that was them. The Comedy Central show, the movie Reno 911, Miami, even the Quibi revival later on, just consistently backing funny, weird, original stuff. They also optioned that Pulitzer-winning book, Tom's River, about environmental issues in Jersey, showing they're still looking at serious material, too.
An amazing track record. But it wasn't all hits, right? There were projects that got away.
Oh, tons. That's the reality of Hollywood development, even when you're Danny DeVito. In the late 90s, he was attached to direct things like The Little Things, which finally got made years later with Denzel Washington.
And The Crowded Room.
Yeah, that was supposed to be him directing DiCaprio, maybe? That also took decades to surface in a different form. He was even set to direct and star in Mystery Men, the superhero comedy.
What happened there?
Big $13 million deal, apparently.
Right.
But he walked away because they couldn't agree on who controlled the soundtrack production. He wanted it, didn't get it, so he said, okay, I'm out. Shows how much control mattered to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then there was that Trump versus Wynn movie for HBO.
Yeah. That sounded wild. About them battling over building casinos in Atlantic City. DeVito was going to direct, produce, maybe star.
But it got killed.
Reportedly, after he met with both Trump and Wynn, and they, let's say, expressed their displeasure, powerful people pushing back.
And the really heartbreaking one seems to be The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle.
Oh, man, yeah. Based on the YA novel, he wrote the script, was all set to direct in 2008. Had Morgan Freeman, Pierce Brosnan, Saoirse Ronan lined up.
Great cast.
Amazing cast. They were literally 2 weeks from shooting, and Morgan Freeman had that terrible car accident.
Oh, right.
Production halted. DeVito apparently never gave up on it, was scouting locations again in 2013, but it just never happened. Still unreleased. There was another one, too, Saint Sebastian, a horror film he produced, finished in 2012. also never released. Just shows how tough it is to get films made, even for him.
Absolutely brutal. Okay, let's pivot back to his acting, especially some of the iconic roles in his more recent work. His collaborations with Tim Burton feel really significant.
Oh, totally. A perfect match aesthetically. Burton's gothic, slightly grotesque style fits DeVito perfectly.
And it started with Batman Returns.
1992, his Penguin is just unforgettable. It's genuinely creepy, sad, repulsive, kind of brilliant. It's not just a comic book villain. It's this really operatic, tragic figure.
He fully committed to the look, the feel.
Completely. And Burton clearly loved working with him. They did Mars Attacks together in 96.
Where he plays that loudmouth gambler in Vegas.
Right. And then they reunited much later for the live-action Dumbo in 2019, where DeVito played Max Medici, the circus owner.
Burton just gets how to use his specific energy, that mix of funny and disturbing.
Exactly. And DeVito seems to really embrace that Penguin character still. He actually wrote a Penguin and Catwoman story for a DC comic anthology in 2021.
No way. He wrote a comic.
12 pages. Shows how much that role still means to him, or how much he enjoys that world.
Okay, speaking of embracing a character, we have to talk about Frank Reynolds.
The man, the myth, the legend. Frank Reynolds on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, joining in Season 2 back in 2006.
This was a huge move, wasn't it? A major star joining this scrappy, low-budget FX sitcom.
Kind of unheard of, really. He didn't need it. He had Emmys, movie stardom, his production company. But he saw the show and apparently just loved it.
What did he say about it?
His quote was that he thought it was fucking outrageous.
Sounds about right.
He loved the edginess, the total lack of rules, and Frank Reynolds, I mean, the depraved millionaire who chooses to live in squalor with his degenerate kids. It's maybe the ultimate DeVito character.
The culmination of his black comedy career, almost.
Yeah.
Playing pure id.
Absolutely. And it gave him this massive career resurgence, introduced him to a whole new generation. He got a Satellite Award nomination for it. It's just proof of his willingness to take risks and jump into something completely raw and different.
And it's amazing that decades into his career, he's arguably as famous for Frank Reynolds as he is for Louie De Palma. Talk about adaptability.
Totally. And let's not forget, he even got an Emmy nomination back in 2004 for playing a stripper on Friends.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Officer Goodbody.
Hilarious. Shows he's always been willing to just go for it.
That versatility comes through in his voice acting, too.
Definitely. Phil in Disney's Hercules in 97 is a classic. That cynical, wisecracking satyr trainer. Critics loved how the animation captured his whole persona.
He was Phil. And the Lorax.
Yeah, voicing the title character in Dr. Seuss's The Lorax in 2012. Big animated feature.
And The Simpsons. Herb Powell.
Homer's long-lost half-brother. Yeah, he did Herb in 3 great episodes. Oh, brother, where art thou? Brother, can you spare 2 dimes? And The Changing of the Guardian. Just a perfect voice for that character.
But the best voice acting story has to be the one that didn't happen.
Ah, yes. The Detective Pikachu saga.
Explain this, because it's wild internet fandom at its peak.
Okay, so Nintendo releases this game in Japan, Detective Pikachu. The Pikachu in it isn't the usual high-pitched Pika Pika guy. He's like a gruff, coffee-drinking detective.
Right.
And fans online immediately thought, Danny DeVito, his voice would be perfect. Small, gruff character. It just fit.
Yeah.
So they start this petition.
So many signatures.
Something like 40,000 people signed this petition demanding that Danny DeVito voice Detective Pikachu in the English version of the game and the eventual movie.
That's amazing dedication. Did he consider it?
He declined to even audition. Apparently, his people showed him the fan campaign, and his response, perfectly unfiltered DeVito, was basically, what the F is Pokemon?
Classic. Just totally oblivious or uninterested in the pop culture phenomenon.
Which, honestly, probably just made the fans love him more.
Probably. Okay, beyond screen work, he's also gone back to the stage, his roots.
Yeah, which is great to see. He did his West End debut in London in 2012 in Neil Simon's The Sunshine Boys.
And then Broadway.
Finally made his Broadway debut in 2017. Arthur Miller's The Price. He played Gregory Solomon, the furniture dealer.
And got nominated for a Tony Award.
Yep. Best featured actor in a play. Critics really praised him for finding the humor and the down-to-earth Jewish wisdom, as one review put it, in the role. Showed he still had serious dramatic chops.
It's just such a varied career. The Hollywood Walk of Fame star in 2011, the Lifetime Achievement Award in San Sebastian in 2018. They feel well-deserved for the sheer breadth of it all.
Absolutely. Actor, director, producer, stage star. He's done it all, and usually on his own terms.
Which brings us nicely to his personal life, which has also been pretty unique, especially his relationship with Rhea Perlman.
Yeah, talk about a Hollywood enduring couple, even in separation. They met super early, January 17th, 1971. She saw him in a play he wrote called The Shrinking Bride.
A play he wrote, okay?
Yeah, and apparently the connection was instant. They moved in together like 2 weeks later.
Wow, fast track.
Very. They got married over a decade later, January 28th, 1982, had 3 kids, Lucy, Grace, and Jacob. And they worked together so often.
Taxi, obviously. Matilda is those awful parents.
Right. They had this amazing chemistry they could use for comedy, even antagonistic comedy. Just seemed like a real partnership.
But then they separated, which seemed to shock people.
It did. They separated in October 2012. Then they actually reconciled for a bit in March 2013.
Oh, I didn't know they reconciled.
Yeah, briefly. But then they separated again, seemingly for good, in March 2017. But here's the really interesting part.
They never divorced.
Exactly. They remain legally married but separated. And both have said publicly they're really close friends, have no plans to divorce. Perlman even said they became better friends after separating than they were towards the end of being a couple.
That's remarkably mature, especially for Hollywood.
It really is. It suggests this deep mutual respect and prioritizing family and friendship over just ending things legally. Very unconventional, very them.
And their lifestyle reflects that blend of Hollywood and, well, Jersey. They sold the huge Beverly Hills mansion.
Yeah, the 14,000-plus square foot place went for $24 million in 2015. But they kept key spots.
Like,
Still have a bungalow near Rodeo Drive, a compound out in Malibu on Broad Beach. But crucially, they always kept a place in Interlaken, New Jersey.
back to the roots.
Always. DeVito's often said he never really felt like a California guy, that he was only there for work. That Jersey connection is deep.
Which ties into one of his more surprising endorsements,
Yeah.
Jersey Mike subs.
Right. And this wasn't just some random celebrity deal. He actually lived near the original Jersey Mike's back in the day. It was a genuine regular customer.
So it's authentic.
Totally. So when he became their first celebrity spokesman in 2022, it actually made sense. It fits his whole persona.
What about his other tastes? I heard something about his music taste being unexpected.
Oh, yeah. He's apparently a massive fan of Mike Patton.
Mike Patton, like
Yeah.
from Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, Fantomas, that Mike Patton.
That exact Mike Patton. Really experimental, often abrasive music, not exactly standard Hollywood soundtrack stuff.
How did that happen?
His son Jacob got him into Patton's music around 2005, and DeVito just became this huge, genuine fan. He's collaborated with Patton on a music video. Rhea Perlman did a voiceover for a Mr. Bungle album.
Wow.
And DeVito even got Faith No More music featured on It's Always Sunny in 2016. It's
Yeah.
like this deep family appreciation for really adventurous music.
That's cool. Adds another layer.
Ah.
Anything else surprising?
Well, he seems genuinely curious. He hosted that documentary channel, Jersey Docs, for Morgan Freeman's company, Clickstar, and he was an early adopter, or at least supporter, of electric cars. He was interviewed in that documentary, Revenge of the Electric Car.
So interested in tech and sustainability, too.
Seems like it. It just rounds out the picture, you know? The guy who plays Frank Reynolds also cares about documentaries and EVs. He contains multitudes.
He really does. Okay, so let's try and wrap this all up.
Sure.
We've gone through this incredible winding career.
Yeah, from that morgue cosmetology gig in Jersey
Unbelievable start.
to winning Emmys for Taxi, to directing these really specific dark comedies, to becoming this major producer who backs films like Pulp Fiction and Erin Brockovich.
And then finding this whole new life on Always Sunny, getting Tony nominations on Broadway.
It's the consistency of being unconventional, right?
Right.
He never smoothed out his edges. He leaned into his uniqueness, his look, his voice, his Jersey attitude, his comfort with the dark side. That became his brand, his strength.
He's the definition of a multi-hyphenate. Actor, director, producer, Emmy winner, Oscar nominee, stage recognized.
And he did it by seizing control. He didn't just wait for roles. He created opportunities, directed his own stuff, produced things he believed in. He made sure his voice, that outsider perspective, was heard.
So the final thought for you, the listener, after this deep dive, think about that journey. Cosmetologist for the deceased to Pulp Fiction producer. Staying married, but separated because friendship works better. What does Danny DeVito's career tell you about making it in a place like Hollywood that usually demands conformity?
Yeah, maybe the biggest asset isn't fitting in. Maybe it's having the guts to look at the weird, the dark, the uncomfortable parts of life and your own unique background and just say, yeah, this is me. Let's run with it.
Perhaps owning your unconventionality is the ultimate power move. A great place to leave it.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.